To all my Jurassic Park fans out there, I know that you guys watch and I appreciate you, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is a mess. It's not good. I don't want any more Jurassic Park. I don't want any more Jurassic World, no more Jurassic Universe. Until they can figure out how to make these movies good again, like, I'm sorry. It's just not a good film. And it's going to bum me out, but we're going to have to discuss. Stay tuned to hear my thoughts and cue the intro. All right, so let's get into this thing. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. You know, I actually made a list of all the reasons why this movie is not very good. And you know, it's not so much that the movie isn't very good. I feel like that's unfair. There are parts of it that are entertaining. I mean, I was mildly entertained. It wasn't a bad film. But for me, when a film doesn't connect, when a film doesn't meet up to its potential, that is when I become the most damn frustrated. I leave the theater and I'm like ranting and I'm like, they could have done this, this, and this. And I'm not the filmmaker, and I understand I'm supposed to sit there, ingest the story, and just kind of go from there. But when you miss out on an opportunity because of lazy writing or thinking you're way clever than you actually are, then we got a problem. So this film is directed by J.A. Bayona, who I never have seen any of his films. I never got a chance to see a Monster Calls, but he's supposed to be pretty good. And then we get Chris Pratt again, and Bryce Dallas Howard, and Rafe Spall kind of plays the character who is our villain. He's very ambitious. He's the right-hand man. He's the money man for the whole Jurassic World industries. And he's our villain because he's only thinking of himself and all the money that he could make, even though he's not very smart, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And then we also get Justice Smith, who plays kind of this millennial IT guy who is constantly freaking out because of all the gross things that are going on. And at first it's funny, but then it plays out very quickly. And then we also get James Cromwell back, and Daniela Pineda, she plays kind of your, like, again, this is going to be one of my issues, stereotypical, like, social justice warrior. We gotta have a woman in here who's of color, and she's gotta be smart, and she's gotta kick ass, and she's gotta be a doctor, and she can't have any flaws. She's just gonna be all that and more. These characters really piss me off, but we'll get into that later. But so we have all these characters that are in this film, and overall what they're trying to do is save the dinosaurs that are still on Isla Nubla 3 years after Jurassic World. There's a volcano, and they could possibly die, and I guess the world is really sad. And this is what at the heart of it, why I have an issue with this film, because I don't care about the dinosaurs. I just don't. Like, they died before. They don't add anything to our species, not just to us, to everyone on Earth. They're not really adding anything. If you let them go, if you let them live, they're not really adding anything to our ecosystem. They're just going to kill a lot of things. It's just going to throw everything way off. And that's what makes, I think, Jurassic World always kind of interesting, is the idea of humans having the role and the ability to play God. And when do you decide that you've just gone too far and you're being selfish and you're not thinking about other species in the world? And because that is just so obvious to me, it's really hard to get into this film, because in my mind, I'm like, the choice is so simple. And the little thing that they try to throw in there as to the reason why we should let these dinosaurs out is just, it's just so frustrating and dumb. I don't know. Let's get into this list. All right, so number one for me is, when I think of dinosaurs, when I think of Jurassic Park, I think of these creatures as monsters. So these are monster movies. There should be fear. There should be a sense of creature dominance, which you get that. We have moments where, of course, dinosaurs, like, bite people and they eat people and they do stuff like that, and there are moments of suspense, but it's not overall scary. You know, there's never that moment where you really feel. I think their problem is they couldn't find a balance between, here are these dinosaurs and you're supposed to care for them and you're supposed to love on them, and then here are these dinosaurs and they're really terrifying and scary. So if you think about it, the only terrifying and scary dinosaur in this are the ones that have been, the one I think it's Indoraptor, that has been genetically modified. That's the only kind of villain dinosaur that we get. We have one T-Rex doing its T-Rex moment, but like all the rest of the dinosaurs we're supposed to love on. I mean, how can I be afraid of this thing if you're trying to make us look at them like they're dogs? In fact, if you watch the movie, listen to Blue. I noticed with Blue that they added these little sound elements that made him sound like when he was in the scene, he was panting like a dog. Like, really listen to it. They tried to make him have kind of dog sounds, so I think as the audience, we drew a connection to him. I was thinking, J.A. Bayona, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get us to fall in love with these things, like they're these wonderful creatures and these great little like pets or something like that we're supposed to just love on, but it's like they died for a reason. It's okay, we can let it go. It's okay, we can let them just be the big bad. And for some reason, these last two movies are not okay with making these creatures something frightful. Like, it's all right, make them scary. They're terrifying. If they were to put them in our world, it would be scary. And it's just not. And I'm disappointed by that. I think dinosaurs should be a threat, and these dinosaurs are not. The storyline is so repetitive. It even repeats the story from the last movie, genetically modified dinosaur that's been taken, DNA from this dinosaur and this dinosaur and this dinosaur. We're gonna have a mega dinosaur that's our villain that we need to kill. Like, we literally just saw that 3 years ago. We just saw it. Like, I couldn't believe that they were doing it again. In fact, in the trailer reaction, I'm some of you have watched, you saw that I was like, okay, I'm kind of hoping that we get more. No, that was it. That we have to defeat this genetically modified dinosaur, and before it goes out into the world and kills people. And it's just so disappointing, because this is what I mean by lazy writing, is that you didn't expand from their first film, and instead you thought, well, this first movie made a lot of money, so let's just stick to it. Except this time around, we're gonna have the dinosaur, we're gonna sell them. That's the only thing that they've done differently. And that, to me, is just like, why? I just don't understand. It's frustrating. So another feature I didn't like is J.A. Bayona almost made Rian Johnson Last Jedi mistakes. In terms of, they tried really hard to give you moments where they try to make it so you, as an audience member, this is what you think is going to happen, but actually I'm going to do this. And I almost feel like this is a little bit sloppier, because every single time he tried sleight of hand, I always guessed what was going to happen next. I'm like, can't we just let this story play out? Why do you need to like try to do a curveball and not, he didn't do it well. Like the moment where, like the auctioneer, and I think it's these Russian people, they're in the elevator and you think that they've made it, and then all of a sudden, boom, like they didn't make it. It's like, because of the way that you directed it and you like slowly kind of had the camera on the Indoraptor, like I figured out that they weren't going to make it. You lingered on it too long. So you're trying to be sneaky, but the way that you're doing it is not good. And I appreciate that you're trying to give us something different. And you tried, and you tried, and you tried, and there's a lot of moments like that, guys, where it's sleight of hand. You think people aren't going to make it, or you think it's going to be this, or you think it's going to be that, and then, no, that's not what happens, which is okay, but do it well. Do it in a way that I'm not thinking, why are they trying to so hard when it's obvious that this is going to happen? Like, it's just sloppy. It's just a big old sloppy mess. All right, so let's get into the characters. The characters of this film are just so stereotypically boring. They're just so boring. I mean, you have like I said, the social justice warrior character. You have the millennial who's like super techie but is afraid to get out into the world. And then when you got to the auction, it was almost embarrassing, because I was thinking, is this like a 90s James Bond film? Because every person that would come up was like, I am Russian and I don't speak English. Okay. And then you have like the Texas guys, but like people in Texas don't actually look like that. But they had like the curly mustache. And then you had the Chinese buyers who were just like, we don't talk. We're just gonna be quiet. Like, it was just weird to me. I'm like, guys, why are you doing this? Like, why are you making these characters so boring and so one-dimensional? And maybe you know what, guys, maybe I'm just expecting too much. Like, I'm being really, really nitpicky, but it's because I expect more. I expect more from a franchise that's been around for 20 years now, or maybe even prior to that due to the books. Like, it's been around for a while, 25 years, something like that. At this point, you should be better. Be better. Like, you have so many brilliant writers, directors, and story people in Hollywood, and I just don't believe this is the best story you could have been given. These are the best characters. Like, I think that I'm just giving Jurassic Park world universe too much cred. Maybe that's it. Because those characters were caricatures. They were not characters. They were caricatures of people. So you want us to have these dinosaurs with personalities that we're supposed to feel bad for, but then the characters that you have are just boring AF. And then let's get to my biggest hiccup with this film. So Rafe Spall's character is in it for the money, right? And so he wants to alter dinosaurs. He wants to create war dinosaurs. You want to create all of these dinosaurs to make millions and millions of dollars because you believe that the one thing we know about man is that no matter what, they're always going to want to fight, go to war. They're going to want something to have an advantage over other people. And I understand that thought and logic, right? But so you're telling me that man's need for war is greater for their need than survival? Greater than their need for survival? No, you literally in your possession have a cloned human being. The little girl is a clone. So you're telling me you would make more money off of these dinosaurs than you would make after being like, look at this little girl. She's been cloned. Do you want to live forever? Do you want to continue on your legacy? Well, if you want the cloning process, guess what? It's going to cost you $20 million per person. Nothing drives man more than survival, right? So, that is our number one instinct. And bringing in more dinosaurs into the world that could possibly kill us is not the way. Like, it's such a big plot hole. So you have this like moment where she realizes that she's a clone, and instead they just are like, well, we're not going to explore that at all. That's such an obvious way of making money and doing it in a safe way that makes sense. Instead of having all these people go to an island, trying to house all these freaking dinosaurs, genetically modify them, deal with B.D. Wong's asshole character. Instead, you could just create more clones. It's so obvious. Like, I understand that they'd say, well, his ambition blinded him. There's no way that his ambition blinded him. That is just so stupid to me. And then at the end, because she's a clone, this little 9-year-old girl gets to decide that all of the dinosaurs get to be released onto Earth. You know how stupid that is? Because they're like me. Well, you're a fucking anomaly. You're a problem. You are not a good thing. You're not a natural thing. Why do you get to make the decision? You are 9 years old. You don't understand everything that's going on in the world. And then you have Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's character just look at her like, oh, that's so sweet. You're a clone and they're clones. And that's just such a beautiful thing that you guys get to be clones and they should live free just like you do. Oh my God. What are we talking about? You guys, this movie is a freaking mess. It's just dumb. That's what it boils down to. It's just damn dumb. And I never want to see this movie again. when the Jurassic World Part 3 trailer comes out, I'm going to keep it real and tell you guys, like, I'm not falling for it again. I'm just over it. Tell me your thoughts down below. Did you like the movie? Am I being too harsh, or are you guys upset too? I don't even know if I'm upset. I'm not upset. I'm here like ranting, but on the inside, I don't actually care. I mean, I care because I love film and I love movies and I want this franchise to be better, but I'm not losing sleep over this, okay? So you guys be sure to tell me your thoughts down below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm sure I have pissed off some Jurassic Park community lovers, but I told y'all I was going to tell you how I feel, and that's how I feel. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for my review. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll check you guys in the next video. Bye!